Please note, the guards have been removed from some of the machinery during the filming of this video. This is for video purposes only. Always operate all machines with guards in place. And remember to work safe. Thank you for watching. Okay, so the shells have been curing for a couple of weeks. We're ready to wet sand. I'm going to wet sand with the 320, 400, 600, and 800 grit paper. And a small sanding pad there, which is flexible and is used for doing body work. So the finish is cured. It's ready to be sanded flat. And I use a separate water container for each grit of sandpaper, so I don't get the grits mixed up. This takes a bit of work, but comes up with a nice finish. You have to wet sand the surface flat to get ready for buffing. And this will take the shine off the finish. It'll leave a dull finish. Wet sanding is a lot of work. And you have to wipe it off. Each section you do. Make sure you get all of the water off. And I'll start another section. Some water. I'm using the same jig I used earlier. A lot of work involved in wet sanding, but the finish we're going to get is going to be worth it. The 320 grit cuts pretty good, so it doesn't take that long. I have to wipe each section down when I'm done. And get a good look at it that way and see if it's ready or not. There's a little spot there that wasn't quite sanded enough. I'm re-sanding it. It looks better. I'm only doing the outside of the shell this way. The inside is finished. Have to keep working away at it. I'm using a rubber pad for sanding. sandpaper is wrapped around. It's flexible. So I just keep working my way around the shell until I've sanded the full surface. Keep it wiped down to keep the water off of it. You want it to be nice and clean before you go on to the next grit. You don't want any coarse grits on the surface of the shell that will leave scratches in the surface. Now I'm going to sand with a 400 grit. Same thing, lots of water. And keep working away at it. It's going to be a nice finish when it's done. Keep it nice and dry. From another angle. Just keep working your way around the shell. Have to make sure to get all the scratches off from the previous grit. When it's done, it's going to be a nice finish. Use lots of water. You can see the water turning a pasty color. That way you know you've taken something off the surface. Wipe it all off good. Then I just keep working my way around the shell with each grit of paper. And I'm going to be sanding all the shells the same way. So I've got my work cut out for me. Coming along good. Jig that I'm using for sanding, it comes in handy when working on drum shells, so you don't have to hold it with your hands free. Looks like I'm going down to a finer grit again. So you can see how much work this takes for each shell. And it's quite a bit of work. And you can't skip any of this. You have to go with each grit. And make sure it's sanded right. Coming up with a nice smooth finish. You can see how it's tasty, and that's when it's ready to be wiped off. You can tell you've taken something off the surface. I'm down to a finer grit again. Sanding the surface to remove the scratches from the previous grit. And I'll work my way down to an 800 grit paper, and when that's done, the shell will be ready for buffing. My final sanding with the final grit. See how it turned a white pasty color? That way I know I've taken some off the surface. And it's looking pretty smooth there now. So I'm just about done that. The next step is buffing. I have 3 separate sets of buffing wheels. 2 to a set. And the buffing wheels mount right on the lathe, which is nice. And tighten the nut up a bit on it. Not too tight though. Just to be sure it's not going to come loose. I'm going to clean up the buffing wheel before I start. And this will clean the surface and take the old buffing compound off. Doesn't take much. So I have coarse, medium, and fine buffing compounds. I'm going to start out with coarse first. You can see it's darker colored than the other ones. And you can't mix the buffing compound on different buffing wheels. You have to use separate buffing wheels for each compound. And they're loaded on pretty good. I put a piece of tape inside the shell to mark so I know when I'm back around where I started from. The coarse grade, it's easy to see. Once you get down to the finer grits, it's hard to tell if you're all the way around or not. I just keep an even pressure on it. Work my way back and forth. And all the way around the shell. These buffing compounds work nice. Leave a nice finish. And that's coming up nice there now. And I can check, see if there are any scratches that I have to rebuff. And I'm going to add a little more compound there. And I'm going to do the bearing edges. And I'm going to go all around the bearing edges and buff them as well. Add some more compound and do the other bearing edge. You have to be careful that it doesn't catch. Keep the top up high. So you're buffing in the center somewhere. That way it's not going to catch the top edge. If it catches the top edge, you can pull the shell right out of your hand. That's looking good. I'm going to run around the outside of the shell again. And this will remove any scratches that were left over from buffing. And I keep doing that until I'm satisfied with it. And I'm going to do all the shells the same way. Finish buffing on that one. I'll do the bearing edges too the same way. And it leaves a nice finish on the bearing edge. Put a lot of hours into these drum shells now. Didn't want to see an accident happen at this point. Each shell I have to add new compound for the wheels. See how dull the finish is there. And once I buff, it's going to come up with a high gloss finish. So I'll buff this shell the same way. Back and forth motion. Slowly working my way around the shell. It's a good idea to wear a dust mask when you're doing this type of work. You get some fine dust. Work my way around there. Take a close look at it. Looks like it's coming out okay. You get the best finish this way. Working down off of the wheel. Leave a nice clean finish. And once again I'm doing the bearing edges as well. And that's looking good. Now I'm working with the finer compound. You can see I have a different set of buffing wheels on. Working with the medium compound here. And that'll remove any scratches left by the previous buffing wheels. And it's the same thing again, working my way around the shell. And take your time. There, I've worked my way all the way around now. You can see it's really starting to come up with a shine now. Some more compound on the wheels. Do the downward motion again. That'll clean the surface up nice. And once I've done that, I'll be ready to go on to the next step. I'll be polishing with a fine polishing compound to remove any scratches left by the buffing wheels. It's a swirl remover. And with the foam buffing wheel, just apply the swirl remover right to the surface. Shake it well before you use it. Some right on the wheel. Smear it around on the shell a bit. And then you just use the drill and polish that finish out. And this will remove any marks left. And I give that a nice wipe down, just to take the excess off before I go into the next spot. And I'll be adding compound or swirl remover each time. And through the same process again, just wiping it on and polishing it out. And I'll be doing each shell the same way. And that's coming up with a nice finish there now. Add some more compound. Polish it out again. I'll keep working this way till I've done all the shells. Be sure to wipe it off good each time. Take that excess swirl remover off. You don't want it drying on the surface. Another shell, same thing. This is a pretty nice system. It comes up with a good finish. And you can see I'm not having to apply as much swirl remover now since the buffing wheel is getting saturated. And it has quite a bit in it already. So I'm not adding as much now. Working all around the shell. And I'll wipe it all down nice. And that's finishing is done. Clean up the edges nice here. And once we do all the shells this way, then I'll be ready to go on to the next step. It'll be mask the shells off and lay out for hard work. Keep on polishing those shells. Adding a little compound. So once that's done, we'll go on to the next step, which is layout for hardware, and we'll be doing that on the next video. Get all these shells nice and polished out. Make sure to clean the edge up good too.